Hey guys, welcome back to Nature's Cadence Farm. Today we're going to be working on Babe, our 1996 Ford F250. And this one has the Power Stroke in it, and that doesn't have anything to do with what we're going to work on today. A couple days ago, I was going down the road and I felt the brake pedal get super spongy. Like went almost to the floor, and I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? So pulled over and I checked the reservoir, and it was almost empty. There was just a little bit in the very back of the reservoir, because the reservoir kind of sits at an angle. So I said, that's not good. And so what I did was I stopped at an auto parts store and just picked up a bottle of brake fluid and put it in there and got it home. And it was still a little weird going home, but it got better. And I drove it today a little bit, and it did get a little bit better today also. But what we need to figure out is, where did all of the brake fluid go? We don't know yet, but we're going to crawl underneath it here. We're going to get underneath the hood, and we're going to check things out. So let's get started. So brake fluid, the brake fluid reservoir for this truck is right here. Driver's side, right in front of the driver's side, the left-hand side of the vehicle, right in front of the firewall. And so there's just a single filling cap in the top of it there. And you know, brake fluid just doesn't disappear. It doesn't burn like motor oil or anything like that. It should just stay in the reservoir. So that's indicating to me there's a problem. So let's get in here, and we're going to look around underneath the hood together and see if we can find something. So right here is the reservoir for the brake fluid, and you can see I've got plenty in it now because I was driving that and I didn't want to run out. So what I'm going to do is just visually kind of check around here, and I'm looking for kind of wet spots or anything kind of weird. So you can see the lines leaving out of the you know, underneath of the reservoir. I'm not seeing any leaks there, and the lines leaving, they're just not, there's nothing there. So next up, we're going to go underneath of the truck and see if we can figure out anything underneath of there. I threw some cardboard down here, and this was provided by my good buddy Coleslaw. So everybody thank Coleslaw down in the comments there. This one's been good. It's starting to get a little threadbare, but that's okay. It will still work. So let's get it underneath of here and see if we can see anything that looks wet. So I'm looking at the hoses here. These hoses look okay. I'm not seeing any drips coming off of here. Looking for really some wet stuff. Not seeing anything. So let's take a look. Here's the, I don't know if you guys could see that, but I'm just looking at the brake lines that go to this valve right here. I'm looking for any, you know, kind of wetness right here. Not seeing anything. Over here to this caliper, I'm not seeing anything dripping off of that, nor do I see anything off of the line up there. So okay, well, let's move toward the rear. So this frame rail here carries the brake line. It's right here. Looks like somebody had replaced it at some point in its life, and that easily could have been me. I don't remember. But there's that line, and I'm just not seeing anything wet going along this frame rail. So it looks like we might end up going toward the rear end. So let's head toward there. So back here where the spare tire is on the driver's side, left-hand side of the vehicle, you'll see this rubber hose right here, and this is where the metal line hooks to the rubber line that goes to this distribution block here, and that goes to the left rear and right rear tire. Now, when I got back here, I see a little something, and it looks like we have a wet differential cover, and so that's good. I mean, that means, I mean, it's not good, but it's okay. And I see a lot of brake fluid right here. So yeah, I've got some kind of dripping out right here, but it looks like to me this is pretty corroded right here. So it looks like we're going to need to put a new line on or repair this, but I think what I'll do is I'll just put a new line on. It doesn't look that bad, and I can kind of measure it out and go ahead and get that replaced. So I think we found our leak. So what I'm going to do is set you guys up right here, and I'm going to go pump the brakes and see if we can see anything dripping out. So yeah, I'm going to try to find a good spot to get you guys kind of in position, and I'm going to head up front. Well, it appears we found the leak, which is good. That's easy to fix, right? A whole lot easier than some other things that might have a problem. So I need to go to the auto parts store. So might not be tonight. I'm not sure, but I'm going to get a new brake line, and then we're going to get that new line bent. And that one looks crazy. It's got all kinds of bends in there. So we get that new brake line, and then we're going to get that installed. And then we've got to bleed these brakes when we get done. So yeah, so let's get started with that. This is the line that's leaking right here, and here's that distribution block I was telling you about that has this rubber line coming from the up front there. Well, I mean, it connects to a metal line that goes up front, but that's where it comes in there. So I've got a 7/16 line wrench here, and so you put that on there like that, and I'm expecting this to be rusted to this line because they always are, and I kind of don't want to take this off because as soon as I do this, if I do break that line, I can't really go back in case I need the truck, but we'll risk it tonight for you guys so I can get this new line in here. Here we go. So it did break loose, and I'm feeling, if I could ever get this thing back on here, I'm feeling the nut turn, or the nut turn there on the line. So we got lucky on this one. Maybe the next one we will be lucky with also. You can see I introduced some air to this. I gave it a place for it to drain, and I've got a drip creating, that's really started heavy right now. So I guess that's definitely where we have the leak. So that's good. Maybe we can get it figured out. Looks like I've got some drippage going on here, and I've got some rags underneath of this stuff to catch any of this brake fluid that's dripping out. So let's try to keep backing this thing out. This nut looks like maybe a line wrench was not used on it, and the shoulders of it are all messed up. There's only one position it feels like that line wrench actually fits on here right, but like I said, I don't think I did this. Any of these lines on this truck, but I've had it for a long time now, since oh gosh, I don't even remember how long, but I had it a while now, so that should be out. There we go. All right, so that's out. Let's go get the other side that's on the wheel cylinder. All right, over here at the passenger side rear wheel, this is the same line here. It's just attached to a clip. It goes up and over, the rear end there. So I've got my line wrench, still 7/16 here. And let's see if we can get it on here to break this loose. There we go. I got it to move a little bit, and I think the nut actually turned independent of the line. Hopefully it didn't knock you over there. Yeah. So it looks like I've gotten the nut to turn independent of the line there. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is back this off, and then what I need to do next is pull this tab open right here that holds the line in, and then there's one up above the differential that I need to get opened up or off or something to get the line out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Alright, so what I've done here is I've laid a piece of mechanics wire, and that's this piece of wire right here, and that's just a steel wire. I'll put a link down below, so check out some links below for all this stuff. And you can see this line just broke right here, so that's definitely where the issue was. So I just followed along here, and I bent the line as close as I could so I could kind of get a good measurement, and then I just ended it, you know, about right here. And all that's going to do is I'm just going to take these bends out of it, and that'll give me a nice length. And if you had a string, you could probably do it with a string. I had this mechanics wire available, so I'm just going to use that. So let's measure this out and see how long of a piece we need. So when I go to the auto parts store, I want to make sure I get the right size fitting. And you can see these two are the same size, the same length and everything, and the same type of flare on there. So I'm just going to take this short little piece with me here. So when you do go get your brake lines, make sure you get the right ends on there, or you'll have trouble. And also when you take your mechanics wire, you'll get it a length too, because they'll need to know that. So length and diameter of the tube, which they can match up, and then to make sure you have the right ends on it too. So I've straightened out the wire here, so it's got nice, you know, it's nice and straight. And on the end here is what I had actually hooked into the fitting in the end, so I could get, you know, so it would hold nice and tight in the end of the fitting. So I'm just going to hook this onto my tailgate right here, and that way I can just hook the tape line, or let's stretch it out. So I'm stretching it out here, and it looks like it ends about here where that scratch is, maybe just a little beyond it. So what I'll do is I'll just take the tape line and I'll hook it on the end right there where it was, and right where that scratch, I know it, yes, that is definitely a scratch. So 50 inches, 49 and a half, 50 inches or so, it looks like where it actually lined up right there. So that's what I need to get when I go to the store, and they might only have a 4-foot piece, which I'm okay with. I can definitely make a 48-inch piece work. I'll just, you know, take some of these extra bends out of here that, you know, that were such at a 90. We could probably kind of, you know, straighten that out a little bit. But either way, fair enough. We got a measurement. So now let's get our new line. I've got my new line here. You can see I've got my wire right here that I use to measure everything out, and the old one and all the bends. I probably won't put every little single bend in there, but what I had to get was this adapter here, and there's the part number for that, and the line here is this part number, and that was a 3/16 by 40 with the two ends on it. And then this over here was the 3/16 to 1/4 inch line, and that gave me the right size for the end here. So with all that, let's go ahead and get started bending this pipe, the tube. And like I said, I'll put the majority of the bends in there, but we're just looking for it to fit, you know, to go up and around the differential, and then down along the axle there. So just want to show you how to bend this fuel line. This is the old one. I didn't want to put a bend in someplace I didn't really want it to be, but you can see you just bend it by hand. You don't even need a special tool or anything like that. Now once it is bent, it does like work harden a little bit, but you can straighten it back out. I already got the new line installed, and you just bend this stuff by hand. You don't even need a bender. This is just steel, you know, it's pretty flexible. And you can see there's the adapter and where it goes into the wheel cylinder. So yeah, that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and bleed these brakes. That might be another video. Alright guys, well there you go. We got the new fuel line in, and I might show how to bleed the brakes, but there's lots of videos out there on how to bleed those, and it's universal between all the vehicles pretty much. But yeah, I'm sure you guys can find something. But either way, there you go. So we got it in, super easy. Thankfully, Advanced Auto Parts helped me out on finding the right lines and the right fittings and everything, and they had everything in the store, so I could get this thing back together really quick. So a shout out to them. And I bought all this stuff with my own money. So it's not like they're sponsoring this. I'm just telling them thank you for having everything, because I couldn't have done it without them. But either way, yeah, she's back together, so I'm ready to get this thing back on the road. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.